that they have reduced the prices of crop beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumped until the break of dawn, Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with four different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Roseman Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
I followed the story yesterday. 4-year-old boy Leslie kills his aunt.
Are you in search of a place you can get quality petroleum products? Well, I got news for you. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated is the company to meet all your petroleum needs. We are one of Liberia's leading importers and distributor of petroleum products on the Liberian market. We are fully capacitated to deliver your petroleum and diesel products anywhere in Liberia. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated, we do rental of dump trucks, tanker trucks, heavy equipment, D8, front loader, excavator. Our clearing and forwarding agency is fast, reliable, and can deliver your goods on time. Mayoba and Sons have improved the quality of reconstituted distributions and importation by financial institutions empowerment. Our head offices are located at the Garnersville Town Hall Junction on Barnesville Road and Freeport Seaman Park on the Bushra Island. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0886 512 379. 0777-512-379 or 0777-255-030 or email us Mayoba mayoubahs @yahoo.com or visit our website www.mayobaliberia.com. Our mission is to keep petroleum on the Liberian market stable, effective, and efficient. Our vision is that our presence be felt in the 15 counties.
Just read the headlines, will come straight to you.
Mayoba and Sons, Liberia's pride.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason.
It's the National Commission on Disabilities, right?
Sort of vigilante-style justice in this country. None of all will be saved.
So
my Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia.
Yeah,
violence leads to further damage, injury, or even death. We have seen recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Mogo. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
Okay. Hello, Chris. Come put a name from there now. I don't know money there.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to Liberia. Good morning to the people of Monrovia. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the program from the Pre News. The Pre News is a regular feature here on Freedom FM 87.9, and we converge here from Monday to Friday to bring you stories emanating in the print media. And like I said, it's good to be here this morning. I'm so thankful to the Almighty God for affording me another opportunity. You know, why? Some are, sharing tears, others are laughing. Well, I'm here, and so I like to pay him back with gratitude for taking me to bed and waking me up this morning. So I'm so thankful and grateful to the Almighty God. My name is Wendell Nimne, and I'm here with my co-host, Esther Daku. Esther, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to the good people of Liberia. Today is Tuesday. It's good to be back, and that's it.
Microphone file for you, man.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I guess the people already heard me. So
Okay.
good morning. I think we have girls on the line. Let's quickly bring him.
So let's try to bring in you as a partner. And our man Dapana is on his way to join us to run you up to 12:30 this afternoon. Gus, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wendell and Esther. How are you guys doing?
We okay.
Good morning. Can you
What's
hear
up?
me?
How are you?
I'm
Yeah,
good,
Yes, we
thank
yeah,
can
you.
hear you.
you're okay.
Yeah, okay. Yesterday I had audio issue. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Yeah,
glad
you
to be
just
here.
left. I don't know. We were
No, I
having some
tried.
issues.
I started talking, no one answering me, so I just left. Well,
Mm,
plus you
uh,
guys didn't
Yeah, that
even.
means we weren't
apparently,
hearing you.
apparently you weren't coming in,
Mm-hmm.
so we
Yeah,
had
I
some
even
issues with yeah.
no, I even got out, came back in. But even prior to that, I mean, the show was going on. I was there, nothing, but no big deal. Show went on. We're here today. Let's go on.
Okay, so today we're gonna be having as our guest the executive director for the National Commission on the Disabilities, Madame Day Tawon Pibi. She's going to be our guest. We're just going to run a few headlines and then we come straight to our studio guest. So this morning, Esther and I, together with Gus and Dapana, who is on his way coming, and we have two local dailies in our studio this morning. We have the Daily Observer and the newspaper. And the Daily Observer is before me this morning, and the front page story says Amara Kone and Toga Gewie McIntosh endorse Waka as support for rescue mission source. And another story says health minister accused of coercing health workers to vote WIA. We jump to more stories here on the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper. Former Defense Minister clarifies appearance at the WIA's church. All right, let me just take a few lines from here because we're going to give all of the time to our studio guest today. So let me just run up to excerpt from this story. And it says here, former Defense Minister Brandon Samuka has clarified that his appearance at the Fokeklon Church, as seen in a photo with President Weah, has no political link. Early Monday morning, a group photo in which President George Manneh Weah and Mr. Samuka were sitting side by side in the church surfaced on various social media platforms, raising curiosity in the minds of many. Some pundits responding to the photo assumed that the former defense minister had crossed over. But we leave it right there and take our final story on the front page. Yola calls for transparent election is the final story here on the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper. So let's take you to the back page. Just one story, Sowe mining site still besieged by country devils. Oh, wow. And we see the traditional chief of Bapa and the country devil, a photograph here on the back page.
of the Daily Observer newspaper. So let's go back to Esther to bring us a few headlines, and then we go straight to our studio guest who is already seated.
All right, like Winter said earlier, I have the newspaper on my desk, and one of the top stories here says Yombly leads Bwaka's campaign in Grand Bassa County. You see the photograph of Yombly is right here on the front page, and of course, there are other people in the background. Also, we have CDC chairman wants Bwaka retired. And we also see a photograph of the chairman, Molu. He's right here, photographed on the front page of this paper, and the scores of seditions right here. First lady against electing blind politicians. This story is on page 8. I think we want to take a couple of lines, then we can run you more headlines. Page 10. Let's see if we have it quickly. Okay, let's see. Has this story. Okay, I think we have it right here. Okay. It says First Lady Clara Weah is urging Liberians not to vote for those she called blind politicians in the presidential runoff election. The poll is slated for Tuesday, November 14, 2023. Madam Weah made the statement over the weekend in Monrovia during a visit to Montserrat County District 17. The Liberian First Lady said President George Weah is the best answer to Liberia's problems, and as such, he needs to be re-elected to continue his development drive across the country. Let's look up more stories. To the back page of this paper, educators endorse Weah. It's also at the back page. You can grab a copy. Buchanan Ancestors Road pavement in sight as AFDB's approval. 12-year-old allegedly kills aunt. Wow. This is at the back page of this paper. You can grab a copy to read that. Minister accused of politicizing health sector. And finally, for the back page, Chinese doctors expected in Liberia. So far, so good. That's all we're going to take from the newspaper. Let's see controls back to you, Wendell.
All right, thank you very much, Esther Daku, for that splendid presentation of the newspaper. And like we told you earlier on, in our studio is the executive chairperson for the National Commission on Disability, Madame Day Tawan Pebe. She's right here with us, and not to take much of your time, let's welcome in our studio guest, Madame Pebe. Good morning.
Good morning, Wendell, and good morning, your co-hosts and other online. It's always good to be at your listening audience.
It's good also having you sharing the platform with us this morning. So tell us how you been and how's the struggle?
Actually, let me give God praise for health. It hasn't been easy health-wise, but we give God the praise that we are back on our feet, and it's been going quite well. We again want to say a very big thank you to the Liberian people for their decision in the first round. I think it was awesome. That's the beauty of democracy. And everything is going far well so far with life. All things are possible.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling. What is your commission position as we stand with this runoff come November 14th?
Basically, I would say the position of persons with disability in general, because the commission, as you are aware, is an autonomous agency established by an act of legislation with the mandate of ensuring the well-being and welfare of persons with disability across the length and breadth of the Republic. And over several times upon our appearance here, we've been able to talk about the progress and the development in our lives as people with disability through the commission in the realization of our mandate that goes with support. Like I always tell people, the beginning of our lives as persons with disability become like a spending entity, because you got to invest all you have through capacity building, through mentorship, through counseling, through guidance, to make us to first of all accept this condition called disability. Because like I said, when I spoke at the event with the vice president where women gather at the ministerial complex, to conscientize women that we keep our faith in the executive. I said that if disability was something that had billions of dollars attached along with gold, I would never accept it because of the stigma, the marginalization, the dehumanization, and everything that goes with it. But sincerely, and I say this with no apology, and I respect everybody for their opinion and their right, because I became disabled at age 5, and I'm 40 years of age, and I've lived all of my life in Liberia. And I would say, under the leadership of His Excellency, sincerely, we have accepted our status, we have accepted our condition, and we feel happy at the independence of the Commission and the persons with disability through the level of development and programs and inclusion in policy development and everything that is ongoing. So with that, over 85+% of people with disability, because definitely you will not have everybody to say, we will support, you got to be real. But over 85% of people with disability are sincerely appreciated to the president and wish a second term because of the level of progress and development we are seeing in our life physically as people with disability. A lot of people may politicize this, but I tell people it is the shoe that we are wearing and we know how the shoe fit us. Even your presence in our midst alone is something that people with disability appreciate.
So let me hold you there, Madam Pebe. So what are you telling them, you as the executive director of the commission? What are you telling your people?
It comes from them, and it comes also from me, to them. First of all, telling them thank you for voting the first round. Now we have 2 persons in the race. It is very important that we maintain the sustainability of everything that has been initiated. It's very important. And in each of our meetings, you will hear them coming out to list even some of the things that I may not remember that they have been able to realize under the leadership of the president, His Excellency Ambassador George Manneh Weah. And they themselves will be encouraging others. Like we have a regular meeting that takes place where we bring heads of organization of persons with disability, the structures and eminent persons with disability, and you will hear the war affected, you will hear all categories, emphasizing including the deaf, emphasizing the need for us to unify at this second round and ensure. And women with disability also saying that it is important that we maintain our faith in the executive because only woman know woman shame. Men will not talk about a lot of things that are pertaining to women, but it is a woman that will be able to talk about it. Like when we talk about infant mortality rate reduction, when we talk about sexual reproductive health and rights, when we talk about menstrual hygiene and other things, you will have some he for she talking about it, but it will not be to the level at which a woman will talk about it. And when you come to the issue of infant mortality rate reduction, women with disability face several challenges and problems during maternal, and it is very important that a woman sit at that table to be able to talk about it. So this is the reason why we people with disability from all categories and all sectors that have lived in Liberia all of our lives, and I will say it again, that have lived here all of our lives, see a faith to ensure that we maintain this government under the leadership of His Excellency Ambassador Dr. George Manneh Weah.
Okay, so I think this boiled down to what we listened to the last time from the lottery boss, who has been, fully involved with our persons with disability. I mean, the distribution of a lot of, assorted materials for them. I've been one person who have covered most of those programs, and I listened to him. He assured us the percentage of the number of people with our disabilities in Liberia that are going to give their support to President Weah or that have given their support to President Weah. What can you say to that?
So with the commission, the issue of the distribution that you talk about, from the end of the commission under this leadership, when we took over from 2021, while it's true that charity cannot be rooted out of our lives, we look at both the empowerment aspect and the issue of charity. The issue of distribution comes from what we call charity background. And the person that have done that hugely have been the office of the president. It started with the office of the first lady when we were not even appointed in this position. Every festive season, she identified with persons with disability, and that distribution was done at Newell office on 19th Street. Back then, Newell was at 19th Street. So persons with disability will come receiving clothes, receiving rice, receiving assorted materials, including finances that put soup on the table. So when we took over, what His Excellency office started doing was to ensure that during every festive season, which is July 26th and that of December, persons with disability receive same. While the truth that aggregate data is still a challenge, the data that we reflect every time we speak is the 1997 census that was done by UNICEF that stated that persons with disability was 16% of the Liberian population. And when I spoke
16% of Liberian population.
16% of the Liberian population in 1997.
Okay.
The 2008 census stated that we're 14.1% of the population.
Okay.
While we are still looking up to this census result. So like I said here, over 85+% of people with disability are in support of President Weah. Like for instance, we are structured across the 3 districts of Liberia, both at the district level and at the county level. And as you open the line, you will hear a lot of them calling from various locations that this station can reach, and you will hear their own voice by themselves.
Okay.
People with disability are definitely in support of this president re-election.
All right, just before we come in with our next question, let's introduce our colleague, your own brother, U-Turn Smith. U-Turn, good morning and welcome.
I want to say good morning, Windia, and good morning, Esther. Good morning to you guys. I also want to say good morning to Dayton, baby. It's good being here. You know, it was crazy the traffic from my end, but thank God, is it better late than never?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So we have the head of the National Commission on Disabilities sharing the platform with us this morning. And let me come in with my next question. We've been hearing from people with disabilities relative to the first round where there were challenges, you know,
Right.
when they go to cast their vote, they complain about having issues and all of that, most especially the visually impaired. What awareness are you creating, you know, to help your people go through this process?
So one of the first things we did was, prior to the entire process, we wrote the National Election Commission and reminded them, because we know they are aware of people with disability participation in the election, but reminded them on key things that could be reasonable accommodation for us. The first thing we asked for was, for the first of its kind, we needed the questionnaire during the VNR to include the search for person with disability among voters. Like for instance, to know how many people with disability registered during this going process. That was the first thing. And the next thing we asked for was reasonable accommodation in terms of avoiding long queue. Because people with disability cannot stand in queue for a very long time, so that they can be prioritized along with the pregnant women and other vulnerable groups. That was one. Another thing we said to them was the need for the tap-tap ballot, and also the need for us to work along with them to ensure that in the capital city, because
what is the tap-tap ballot?
the ballot that is visually impaired used to vote by feeling, because the visually impaired read by feeling. So that tap-tap ballot, we also recommended the need for the tap-tap ballot, and that the need for an opportunity that we could work along with them to train those persons with disability that have knowledge on Braille. Because as a visually impaired, you have to learn the Braille in a specialized school before you are integrated into a mainstream school. And in many of the rural parts, there are a lot of visually impaired who still don't understand and haven't gone through the learning of the Braille. But in a major capital city, there are a lot of them who have ideas on the Braille, especially in Maserati. So those are the recommendations that we did. And also we recommended the issue of sign language interpretation. Again, we said to them that there was a need, and we worked along with DI, which is the Democratic Institute, that was even able to develop a little civic education through video that could be shared on how a deaf person can be able to vote. What are those things that are expected? Those interpreters were requested and we sent them, and they were trained by DI. So we have various chat rooms that we created upon our excellency to coordinate our activity because many of the deaf they write. So we said to them at any polling place that you go and there is a challenge, kindly post it in the chat room. Then right away we'll let the sign language interpreter know and we can reach out to you. So doing the registration, that was something we went along with. And in the voter registration process, you find the deaf in Montserrat hugely concentrated on the old road, around the Dupo Road, around the Chikisu Factory Belt, around the Broadway Belt, there where you find it hugely concentrated. Okay. And also around the 12th Street where you have the Hope for the Deaf Mission School right in the fence of the Methodist compound. So around those areas that have their learning facilities, there where you have a lot of them. So those interpreters were very helpful to those of them that are reached the voting age and a hard challenge that could post it in the chat room. One good thing is that they are connected to one another. And every time an appointment is made at the level of the commission, if the head is physically challenged, the deputy for administration is visually impaired, and the deputy for technical services is deaf. Yeah. So our deputy for technical services, Mr. Christopher Boo, and he's a deaf person, and he's closely connected with the community. So that's how we coordinate our activities very easily. So that was every challenge that came across where we are now. We have a deaf school in Nima. We have a deaf school in Lofa. We have a deaf school in Grand Bassa called Wanaweli. So in those areas that there were challenges, we were able to reach out. But again, we say to person with disability, it's a distance that we are traveling and we're going to get there one day because it will not be overnight.
Okay. So let me hold you there. Dapana, you listen to our guests. You want to come in? We can come in with more questions.
Well, I really don't have.
And Gus is also on the line.
Yeah, I really don't. I really don't have a lot to say. I want to say thanks for her coming, and I will leave the interview, you guys.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, Gus, if you're there, you have something to say to our guests, then we can go from there.
Yeah. I mean, what are they doing for the disabled people for election? Because I mean, one of the complaints we've had is, for instance, the corridors are dark. Even access to the rooms. Are we making any kind of plans for those? Are we reaching out? Part of this whole campaigning here, are there any community engagement with these disabled people? Because from what I get, not the case. One of my brother is blind. He lives in GSA Road. I mean, Wendell, I think you met him, or maybe it was Sekou. But again, those things are not getting done, and I think these people are very critical to the election. These people are critical to our existence as people. We have to continue to provide means for them because, hey, they're part of our society, and they're our children, our mothers, our aunts. I mean, when we sit back and don't provide for them, I mean, it's just not fair, honestly. So I'm just asking to see, because since she's ahead of it, what are they doing on election day to assist these people? Are they doing any kind of pre-election, some education for them? Are they providing them access to these places? Are they giving them preferences and whatnot? Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. When you talk about the corridor is that, I didn't get that because the election starts 8 a.m. in the morning and it ends at 6 p.m. Perhaps in a rural part, there might have been challenged that the voter.
So even in Monrovia, sometimes when you are in the queue and it's past 6 o'clock, what they do is that they allow all of you to enter the hall, and then to wait there and go through the process, and then you come out. So I'm quite sure that is where his concern is coming from.
Yeah, but what happened is we didn't, because people with disability were not allowed to stay in the queue for a very long time. So sincerely, if there were any situation of people staying after 6 p.m. that they were not prioritized in the line and had to go with group, we had to follow up on that. But I didn't get such information on that, sincerely. Okay. Because even for myself, when I went to vote, the moment I got to the gate, I voted at Joel in New Georgia. The moment I got to the gate, the lady would come in and come vote. And when I went in, there were queue before the very polling places, and they said to me, let her pass. She's a person with disability, and I passed along with, I think, 2 or 3 pregnant women, and they were like, oh, let her go ahead and then you follow. So that was what happened. And there were persons with disability who also serve as observers working with the Election Observation Network on the old road. Sandra is the head for district number 10. So for persons with disability that were in our build, where, like I said, on the old road, you got a lot of deaf, you got a lot of those categories are found, especially war affected. You find them usually in district number 10. Those people were able to coordinate. And many of those who were pool watchers, we used the war affected because a lot of them are physically challenged. And then we didn't use the deaf because we used the war affected basically, and the physically challenged, those who used the crutches and that of the wheelchair, those were the people that were able to use during our process. But if there were any situation of such, we will try to follow up as we approach November 14, and we will definitely try to keep engaged with our heads of organization of persons with disability and also our Maserati structure to see how we find a way around it. But sincerely, that was how we were able to work around it. And like I said, we started engaging NEC very early. We started engaging those civil society organizations that were working along with NEC in ensuring that there's a safe space for voting for all categories of people with disability, regardless of their sex, regardless of who you are, and so forth. We work closely with those people because we cannot be everywhere at the same time. And we use the various chat rooms to coordinate wherever there were challenges. Those were some of the things we did. So we said to them, if you can connect with an OPWD head that will be able to put your information in the chat room, then it will be able to help us. Because in relation that we ourselves were not sitting home, we're like up and down and making sure that we get it. There were places that they had challenge in mobility, like to move. That was one of the challenges we heard from the rural area because of the distances to go and vote. There were a lot of them, like Nima, for example, it was raining. And because of the rain, a lot of them were not able to go. And you yourself, everybody heard that the voter turnout in Nima was a big pool, around 60%. Everybody didn't come out because of the rain that particular day. So where there were rain, there were challenges because, you know, when you're using a wheelchair, you can use umbrella. And a visually impaired person don't use umbrella. Only the deaf and the physically challenged that don't use assistive device, they use umbrella. Like my category and so forth, we use umbrella. So that was also a challenge that we came across. So again, as we approach November 14, we take note of all of these things, and I know a lot of them are listening, and we're going to work around it.
You want to come in?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So I received a couple of calls from people with disabilities that they want to endorse the re-election of President George Manneh Weah. Do that represent your institution, or do you have a problem with people with disability coming up to endorse the re-election of President Weah?
For me, I'm very happy about that. And
Okay.
honestly, a lot of them engaged me, and I'm glad they also came to you directly, like you say. They said to me that with the happenings in our community and the progress in our community, it was important that the president be appreciated. So that had been their request. And that request was like very strong before the first round. And they were like, they needed date, they needed time to see how best they could interact with the president and make him understand that persons with disability are appreciated. So it is something that is in the pipeline that persons with disability are working around. They have engaged us, and we ourselves are trying to work along with them to see how that can come out. But it's coming from them. And perhaps because it's a bit slow from our end to finalize on date and time for them, that's why perhaps they are engaging. But definitely, we haven't rested. We are still trying to get an exact date and time that they can be able to come out to express what it is, because the commission is the one that kind of link with like a mediator between person with disability and that of the executive branch. So definitely we are working around it, and we can tell them that they should be patient. We're going to definitely get a feasible date and a time to afford them that opportunity. So it was glad that they also reached out to you, but it is something coming from them.
Okay, so let's come back to what you initially stated relative to what you requested from the National Elections Commission. We have like a few more days, which is going to be on next week, Tuesday, the 14th. What are some of those challenges that people are complaining about, and the National Elections Commission did not meet up with, because I heard you say you asked for some certain things from the NEC and, to help your people. So,
Well, yeah, one of the major challenge is the fact that existing buildings are not accessible for people with disability. That's one of the major challenges that is beyond even NEC control, because NEC have to use building to carry out the voting process. So perhaps what could happen in the future, which we've also been talking about, but perhaps it's because of resources, is that those precincts that NEC know that will be used, there's a need to create ramp at a particular point. The ramp perhaps will not
Just
be,
a minute, because we'll bring you
the
in.
ramp perhaps will not be all over the facility, but there could be an entry point of that ramp. Like for Lomadia, for example, if you enter Lomadia campus, you got a particular direction that got a ramp, and once you climb on that ramp, you can ride on the first floor or on the second floor and go around and do what you want to do. The ramp is the challenge, and we have always said that 2-3 bags of cement can give us access to a building. Like for Joel, for example, where I voted, it was a step. So if someone was in a wheelchair that came to vote, what they did was they got manpower that we have to lift the person up to vote. And that was how it worked. So that's one of the things that was very challenging to be addressed for the physically challenged and even some of the visually impaired that have become multiple, like I've seen multiple disability, because there are some visually impaired that are amputated, and then it's a challenge as well. So that was one of the things that we faced. Even in the rural part, it was like worse, because the existing structures they are using, some of it are austere building, some of it, that's one of the challenge. But when it comes to the issue of having the people with disability doing the VNR, that was done. When it comes to prioritizing people with disability to go to vote, they were able to work around that.
So you did not receive any complaint about challenges these people with disability went through during the first round of the voting
The only
process?
challenge was accessibility. That was really accessibility. And with the issue of sign language interpretation, when the place in the chat room, we're able to send interpreter, because among the 78 institutions of people with disability that we work with, there are 2 institutions that are purely sign language interpretation institutions. One is headed by Agata and the other is headed by Joshua. And at the National Commission on Disability, we have 3 sign language interpreters that are employed with the commission. So during election day, all of them are assigned to various areas, and where there's challenge, we relate to them that this other location in GSA Road, there's a challenge. Can you reach out? So Clinic got a challenge. Can you reach out? Or somebody is already there. So that's how we do. So we tell Joshua, we talk to Agata to ensure that those sign language interpreters, because that was one of also the major challenge when the deaf got there. And there were times people were telling them, you're not deaf. And at a point, they would want to find a way out. And so forth. That was what happened.
All right. So Madam Pebe, before Gus comes in, was there any complaint from people that, oh, I went to vote for this person, and then I met somebody who was telling me to vote for another person? Did your commission receive any complaint relative to that?
Really, we didn't, because the visually impaired, they go with a guy.
Okay.
Each of them go with a guy or a trusted friend.
Okay.
So for most of them who were able to share their experience with us, they went with their guy, and their guy was allowed to vote for them. So when they went, they told the guy to vote where there were no tap-tap ballot, but where they had tap-tap ballot, they independently voted for themselves. Because with the tap-tap ballot, you will be able to show to whatever number, whatever area you want to vote for. So with the tap-tap ballot, those who knew how to use the tap-tap ballot, they were independent. But where they didn't have tap-tap ballot, they have to get trusted family to vote for them. That was what happened. Okay. Even the older people, as they were going, they were asked to bring somebody trusted. Like my mom, when she went, she had to go with my little brother. For my little brother to vote for her. But the only thing she said, she voted for one person, she will not vote for the other people. So my brother said, but how you will not vote for the other people? She said she was not interested in the other people, she was only interested in one person. Okay. And that was how, and they allowed her to do what she did. So that was what happened. That was what they got.
All right, so Gus, let's hear from you. Then we can.
The madam was in studio one time. We discussed these issues, and this is my problem with Liberia. We wait for issues to happen, then we react. And I hope your commission, after elections and all of that, I really like to see you, madam, as well as you, well-spoken, well-articulate, well-versed on the problems. Why are we not more forceful in making our government abide by the laws on the book, where every ministry, every facilities of public institutions you people should have access. It is a law. Why are we not pushing on these things? Because the citizens will support you. Why do we wait until it become a challenge? You know, yeah, manpower can pick you up and put you in there to go, how you call it. But guess what? What happened when fire break out? The manpower got to take care of themselves first. See, this is why in developed countries, people worry about what may happen, not just what happened to them. Because the what may happen is what's going to solve a lot of these issues. And this is what I was pressing on last time you were here. Is look, you have a tax. When you leave a mark. And I'm glad you're doing a lot of these things, but I'm just pleading to you now. After this, please make it your priority. You have a following. Push harder. People will follow you. And maybe we can take care of this thing under your watch, madam. And that's my take to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, guys. And I'll be very appreciative for us to be able to talk. Like I've always said to people, I didn't know how Liberia was before the war because my eye opened after the war. I don't know whether there were full accessibility before the war. I don't know how buildings were before the war and so forth. But to destroy is very easy. To build takes time as a country. And we are still in our post-conflict recovery process. We are in also a process where people don't really understand what disability is. It is now the awareness of disability is going like all over and people getting to know. Like recently when I was sick and taken to the EADD hospital, I realized some of the causes of disability that they induced labor. When those induced labors are done, the child come out one, either to be mental, they disabled or so forth. So when I was coming out, I met a little baby who was like 1 year, 6 months, and she was in the sister hand. So when I saw her, because everywhere I see a child with disability, I will always go to them, introduce myself as the head of the Commission on Disability and direct the commission and tell them there's a need that they connect to an institution or person with disability and ask them where they live. So I made her stop and I said to her, "Is this your baby?" And she said, "No, it's not my baby, it's my sister's baby." And I said, "Where is your sister?" She said, "Oh, my sister left and went somewhere, but I brought the child to hospital." So I said, "But you sitting, 5 of the baby mothers are sitting down there. Why? If you sit here when they call the girl name, well, you know." And she was reluctantly sitting with the baby. So I said to her, "How come? Why is this child joining this community so early that go with this kind of stigma?" Then she said, "Oh, my sister said she didn't want operation. They should do induced labor. And the induced labor, they told her it had effect. Either the child will come out as a mental disability or so forth. So when she get back to the child, she don't want to accept the child." So I said, "Wow. But this child is the victim of circumstances." But what I would say to you, then I started holding the child's legs and the hand, and I realized it was still flexible. So I said to her, "This child is still small. The bones and everything is still young. So just be patient. The child will talk and the child will walk. And you will see this child walking. The only thing, they might not walk like the way other people walk, but this child will walk." But what I would tell you, the commission is located around the Korencha, around the Suntini police station. Once you get there, just ask for the commission. We'll be able to link you up and let's keep together, and it will be. So, it is something that we have to keep doing on a daily basis because even mothers are not accepting the very children that they have. The issue of accessibility. Now, we've been able to engage Ministry of Public Works and a lot of infrastructure institutions. What they've said to us is that new buildings that will be constructed will be able to look at it. With the accessibility that you're talking about in developing countries, energy is one of the key things that ensure accessibility 24-hour current. Because if you have 4 or 5-story building, you need an elevator that will be able to take you to every floor. As a country, we still have challenges in some of those places. There are times, like recently when I went to the Ministry of Gender, I have to climb 75 pieces of stairs. And each time I'm climbing, I check the stairs to know the pieces of stairs. And the CSA building that you see there is 95 pieces of stairs to go on the 4th floor. So if I'm telling you the number of stairs, then you should know. When you get in the building and no current, what will you do? You need to connect to the person that you have to go to. So definitely, you have to climb the stairs. Like the program we had at the ministerial complex recently, the elevator was not working. We have to climb to the theater. So again, it's something we all have to work together to make it a reality. And the good is that at the level of the commission, you have people with disability there. Like for instance, the steps are claimed to come to Freedom FM. If I send in Freedom FM and say where I came from was full accessibility to come up here, who felt it that my back claimed those steps to come and sit to where I'm sitting and communicating. So we will get there, but it will take time. Again, Freedom rented this place. The building was already built. This is not Freedom building. And again, there where we are heading. So I believe one of these days we'll get there. Perhaps there's a frame of elevator that is on this building that perhaps has not been developed, or perhaps electricity or so forth. So again, we gotta be real in what to do and look at the actual context and so forth. But I would really like for us to work together around it. But one good thing we have done, under our leadership, we're able to work on, besides the act establishing the National Commission on Disability, we developed a national strategic disability from a grassroots approach that highlighted some of these challenges. And that document was signed by the president. We also work along with UNDP to revise the National Action Plan, which look at the development of people with disability life from the policy perspectives. And those documents we've been able to share with development partners that in their conversation with every ministry and agency, they can also add their voice to our voices and ensure that these things are done. When it comes to the employment of people with disabilities, that is in Article 5 of the Act that created the Commission on Disability, we also re-emphasize in a roadmap that we need every government ministry and agency to at least have 3 qualified persons with disability. So these are things that we are working around, and definitely we know that one of these days we're going to get there. But we definitely look forward to us partnering and working together and seeing how best we can ensure a Liberia that is barrier-free, where we equitably participate on an equal basis with others, beginning with also the curriculum. Because if sign language and Braille become a national language in Liberia, it will also help us. Mothers need to communicate with their girls' children that are deaf. Because at the age of 9 to 12, you start your menstruation. It is your mother who should talk to you on what to do. But if your mom cannot communicate with you, then tell me exactly what happened. So you see them gravitating to community where their friends are in good numbers. So with these policies and everything, and with a government that listens, we believe gradually as we approach right after this election, we can start to engage constructively, and definitely I believe we're going to get there.
So before we go to the phone lines, you are the head of the commission, and just a few days to go to the 14th of November, where it's going to be the runoff, and you are the head of the National Commission on Disabilities. So what message have you for the people living with disabilities?
For me, I would say to a person with disability, like I've always said to them in person, I will not lie to you. I will not fool you. Because I've said to them, whether I'm an official of government, if they say today they're grabbing all people with disability to test some kind of drugs on them, or to test some kind of bomb on them, they will grab me from that place and bring me down, and we all going to go together. So I will not fool them. So what I would say to them is, this is a president that have prioritized us. Since Liberia got its independence again, I stand to be corrected. But I think this is the first president that has sat with us in person for more than 4 hours. And when there are many a time when we invite officials of government to our activity before I could come to where I am, many of them feel when you come among people with disability, you will get some order or whatever it is, they are not clean or whatever it is. So they will always send props, say they will not even send their chief of office staff. They will just send somebody and say, go there. The people say they're having program, just go there and talk. But we invited the president in 2021, December. He sat with us for more than 4 hours. Wow. We had to take him from the podium and bring him among the group to sit and watch the presentation of the template of the work that we did. That day was a day in our lives that we'll talk about forever and ever. And I know other presidents that will come after him after 2029, they should be able to follow it, because disability is something that happens every day. And children are victims of so many circumstances, and there's a need for realization of full inclusion. And that is something, and I've said to them, it is under his leadership that our budget was able to increase for the first of its kind. And I've said to them, this is one of the reasons I don't condemn my predecessors. I don't know what were the challenges that they faced that led to them not doing what we've been able to achieve, at least in the shortest possible time. But with this, let us vote for President George Manneh Oleh. There might be challenges along the way, but I can tell you that in the next 6 years, we will boast of a lot of things with the conversation we've been able to have. We definitely have an office of our own called the National Commission on Disability Office that will be a multi-purpose office that we can be able to have our vocational training, we can be able to have technical education and everything. We were able to renovate our compound where we currently reside that is paid by the government with full accessibility to show to other line ministries and agencies the need for accessibility as we approach every ministry and agency, because you can't say thou art and you yourself can see yourself in the picture. So these are some of the things, and I say to them, vote the president. Forget about people politicizing our lives. Let's be real to ourselves, and we will never regret.
Voting the president is one thing. When they go out there to vote, what are you telling them? Where are they going to vote? Vote number 13.
So they are voting number 2, where you got a woman right in front of a woman. There's a box in front of a woman. There's a man. There's a box right before the woman. Just put your thumb for the visually impaired. For the deaf, just put a check mark. For the physically challenged, put a check mark and make sure the check mark is in the middle of that box so that your vote cannot be an invalid vote. So number 2 is where we are heading.
Okay. She's Madam Daytawon Pebe, who is the head of the National Commission on Disability. She's sharing the platform with us this morning. And so we now go to the phone lines and get the views of our followers. Those of you listening, please, if you have any personal thing with Madam Pebe, please, we will not allow you to say it yet.
Go look for her to
Go
her
look for
office.
her to our office. She's our guest. Will do everything to protect her.
Right.
So any personal thing you have with this woman, please, she's here talking on your behalf. So if you're there and listening, you can call and make your contribution. The numbers to call are 0776 104 104, 0886 500 104. The WhatsApp number is +231 886 500 104 is the WhatsApp number for you to call. So we go to the phone lines and take our first caller. Hello?
Oh my God.
Hello? All right, I will cut you off. Since you can reduce the volume of your radio, I will have to let you go. Let me take this person. Hello? Hey, Leila, you are saying you want to talk to, so I will cut you off. We told you you don't want to call, you have to move away from your monitor. Please, we have to respect our studio guests and just make sure we, do everything in accordance with the rules and regulations here on the program. So please, my people, you move away from your monitor and let's have a wonderful interaction. All right, let me take this caller. Hello? Hello? I'm fine. Edmund, this number you're always calling is not the number for you to call, all right? I will just allow you today for the very last time. We have a number that we allow people to call, so please, let's observe that. Thank you. Go ahead, Let's hear your contribution.
Are you guys there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can't hear anything.
And we can hear you, so I don't know.
Can't hear the callers, but I can hear you guys.
the line. Come on.
Okay. Thank you. Let's leave it right there. Let's you went more than 2 minutes, so let's leave it there and take this caller. Hello. I'm fine. You are the caller. I'm not the caller. Okay. Let's hear your name and where you calling from.
Can't hear the call.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's take you this caller. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Comfort.
Okay.
Wendell, I think the man in the stick to the topic. I don't think he's a disabled person.
You said
He's
you want to
not.
leave us
He's
with
not a
this
disabled
interview.
person.
You turn
It's a
so
visual
yeah.
impact.
He said.
No, but the father Maya,
All right.
he
Let's
reacting to another caller.
all
Wendell,
right.
not fair.
Let's. All right. Go ahead. Lend your thoughts. Go ahead. Thank you. We need to
We're not
maintain.
talking
That's the
about that.
final word. Let's take you this person. Hello. I'm fine. What's your name and where you calling from? County coordinator for NCD. All right. Let hear your contribution. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Let's take another person. Caller, good afternoon. Okay, we talking different thing here. Maybe you want to hear something else. Wait for where you want to hear that thing. Let me take you. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello. I'm fine. Go ahead, Mr. Carl. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Let me take this caller. Caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon. 1 minute. Let's hear you. Thank you. Let's take you this person. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, let me take this caller on this line. Caller, good afternoon. I'm fine, David Johnson. Thank you. And I know you join us from Grand Bassa County. Okay, where exactly you calling from? Go ahead, David Johnson. Which part of Bassa you calling from? David, are you there? Oh, it's like we lost David Johnson. I don't know what's the problem, but let's take another person. Hello. Good afternoon, Master C. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you. Okay, Ma Walter, go ahead. Mhm. Okay. Thank you, Ma Walter. Thanks for your contribution. Let's go back to this line and take you. Caller, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mom. Ma Walter, you there? I'm sorry, Ma Helena. Go ahead. Oh, I'm afraid we lost Ma Helena. We didn't cut you off. I think you're credit harmonized. But let's take you. Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Let's take you. Hello. 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 Okay, let's take you. Hello. We taking you this caller. Hello. Hello. Okay, let me go back to this line and take you this caller. Hello. Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon. All right. Are you from this Igbo community? Okay. Let's hear your contribution. Thank you. Let's take you this person. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the show, sir. What's your name and where you calling from? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take more calls. This person, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Where is your office?
Yuba,
Okay.
United Blind Association.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the clarity. Let's talk to this person. Hello. Hello. I'm fine.
Who is resonating?
Okay. All right. It is resonating. John J.
Always resonating.
The Baza rapper. Let's take you. Hello. Yeah. How are you? Yeah. The man said you must go to your office tomorrow now for. Okay. All right. So if you know some of those people that complain, you can send them to the office,
Okay, Yuba office.
the Yuba office. Yeah. All right. Let's take this call up. Maybe we can take 3 more calls. Hello. Yes. Good afternoon. Go ahead. Are you from the community? Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Thank you. We'll take 2 more calls and go back to our studio guest. Let's take you first. Hello. Mhm. Okay. Thank you. And that was exactly what the commissioner said, trusted persons. Yeah. All right. You asked for 15 seconds and you went more than 15 seconds. So I think your 15 seconds there say You time finish. Let's take our last caller and then we'll go back to our studio guest. We don't want people to be going back and forth this morning. All right, no, I'm not going. I don't want people to be going back and forth. We have others on the line. Let's prioritize them. Let's take you. Hello? Yeah, how are you? You call on the show and your background is very noisy. How do you expect us to enjoy the conversation?
Go ahead.
If you have anything personal, you need to meet the commissioner at her office. I don't think this platform would be the best place to sell it out. Your phone said, "Give me a hard time." Let's talk to you. Hello. Yeah, how are you? Can you please elevate your voice? Okay. We. Are you there? Hello, caller. Are you there? Okay, I think we let's take this person as our very last caller. Hello? Hello? Yeah, hello? Hello? Good afternoon. Go ahead, you're the last caller. All right, we've done with you, and so thank you very much, Madam Pebe. You listen to all of the callers, the challenges, and you just name it. All right, so will you care to speak to that?
Yeah. So first of all, let me say a very big thank you to all of them who were able to call. And again, the noise you are hearing in the background was because as visually impaired or physically challenged, we take time to walk from one location to another.
Okay.
So while listening to the radio, we can dial our call. But then when you okay to wake up and walk, it takes
It's
some
a
time.
process.
So please, you should please understand that next time.
All right, thank you. You
So
know,
that
at least I know now.
when you
You're
saw
sorry
that,
or you're
yeah.
forgive me.
When you saw them saying I'm coming, they were trying to either find a key or find a wheelchair to walk a little distance.
Okay, I
So
understand.
again, sorry for those of you who couldn't get through the line. And to my brother-in-law, go through is a fundamental human right. Like I said, many people, everybody will have to make their choice. That's the beauty of democracy. But we want to say thank you to all of you that are in support of the president. And again, with the issue of the tap-tap ballet, le MOK said, we are getting there gradually as a community, as person with disability. What we ask is to find a trusted person that you can go with. And those of you, there are some smart visually impaired as well. If you know you can grab the education at Yuba, make your way to Yuba. If Yuba can try to work around that, maybe for the next 2-3 days, and you know you will get along, it will be great. But while you're going to use the tap-tap ballet, also go with somebody. So in case there's a challenge, you can be able to use the opportunity. We want to also say thank you to Mas Sarah, because actually the general affairs of the National Election Commission was able to have some section in Bomi and a few other counties around the tap-tap ballet, but we're not specific on the date and the time. That's why we couldn't talk about it, but she was one of the beneficiaries. I think she talked about it. And Mora was also able to let us know finally that their initiative of the appreciation will be hopefully done on Thursday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's what he said. So like everybody reaching out to get full clarity, I'm glad that we've gotten that information. We're also going to follow up on it, and we are going to work around it to ensure that our voices are heard on that day to prove to the world where we are. And to people with disability, like I've always said, it's a gradual process. We've been having meetings with parents, we've been having meetings with teachers, we've been having meetings with various stakeholders on the inclusion of persons with disability and those things that make us inclusive in society. We cannot be discouraged. We're going to get there one day. Where we are now, years back, we weren't here, but we are going further, and I know we're going to get there. All I'm saying to you, to make it better, is the fact that we have the opportunity to sit at decision-making table. Let us vote number 2. And Liberia is one of the countries that have independence. And when we go out there and present and say that we report to the president directly in cabinet meeting, people don't believe it out there because many of the commissions that are in the West African country, because I was at a West African event in Ghana and that of Abuja, where they brought the various National Commission on Disabilities across the region into those meetings. And we realized it is Ghana, Nigeria, and Liberia that have autonomy. The rest of them are under ministries and agencies, and they have to work under ministry and agency, including Sierra Leone.
Okay.
So for that independence, it is something that we appreciate, and let us vote the president. For those of you that have challenges, let us know through the various chat rooms, and we will be able to work around it. I know somebody expressed that we did a lot at a point in time concentrating on NEMA for WIA. You know, we have to achieve the goal of the president from our traditional background and in whatever way we can. We were closely engaged with our community, but we have to go back home because while it is true that we domicile in Maserado, we come from various countries, counties, and in here to settle. So we got to go back to convince our people to see how best we can collectively make this decision in the interest of Liberia. To our president, we say thank you so much. We love you in as much as you love us. We pray that as our dreams are tied to your dream, that on November 14, that dream will become a reality. According to your heart for people with disability, the God that you serve will be able to bless you. And to people with disability, we love you all. To everybody who may have had some issue that you want to talk to us about, the office of the commission is located directly opposite the Korean church in Congo Town. When you're coming from town, the moment you pass the Nigerian house, it's on your right. If you're coming from 540, when you pass Zone 3, it's on your left. Anybody you ask within our vicinity, say, I'm looking for a person with disability office, you will see the signboard right in front of the Korean church, pointing directly between the LPDP office, right between the fence there, that row, and straight in the commission fence. Make your way there. We are available anytime. If you don't meet me, you will meet Reverend Buema or you will meet Mr. Joshua Boo. The office is open always from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., sometimes 6 p.m., just to make sure we interact with you. Thank you, and thank you, Freedom FM, for the usual opportunity to be heard. And to the women of Liberia, let us ensure that our face remain at the branch of the executive. Only woman know woman shame, and only woman will be able to talk about women's issues. Thank you, and thank you so much.
All right, finally, Madam Pebe, can you speak your local language just for a minute to your people, and then we climax this entire interview?
Okay, so I will speak the both Gio and Mano. So I start with the Mano. Unenu dano katuoe kazuo fene miena kalo benze le kakenge diri ka kiaye ko kazuogi ke won go ge ka le de ka mo le to ke de re ran lo mo gbe de mo le ra geye do kwa bo kinge diri aye to ye kwa da wa de re ya be o le o pi tebe die kia i vo ke i ne me wa agban yi e ba no adano adi le mo mi aye le ka vo ke ka kwa le ka pele ku ya ti le o si pe me le ka yusi ke be ka pe ka ke no zo ile ye mo ye ka pe kwa lo aka mi benze un die yi do be kwa wo kinge diri ri benze mi gun ka die ka gbe ke ayi mi aye ke ayi ke pe ko ge ka le to mi pe tele wa yi de ka mo o pe te o da o go ma e le no do o le o pe te o da gba mo ke mi aye le yi de a pe blue zegme ko na pere agbe me a de into a mi aye no a bebe a si de aye mo ye so ka pe nenu danu ka zo fe ne do kwara wo be de yi de ban o ka pe ka bo play nenu danu ka zo do me ho ka lo won go bi ezale I ka zo po ka po bi aka de to be de ero mo gban de nu ma be ira bi so de ka do kwa de jo ye ya ne a person we are so be de ba be u kona me ke ye ura yuti ke be kona ya mu me aye ba ru kona yusi ka po de te ura yusi ka be po do e bo yusi ka mu ka gan so me pete be to me idura ka bo so bi aka de bo zia ka ye e go aga ple e do ado go to be zia me adi e to ka place se ka ya mu ba be zia me adi e to zia e go aga ple zia do agbe ale epo amu edu akran be zame kwa me zame adi eto me zigmane me ya duwa ya di eto be erokas kwa mo me ka de ka gudo kwa go mamu e kwara po me ngba na aka ka me azia ka le Pokwa me kwa ke kwara ka suka zuo duo me ho ka toro sie me ka nya de me ka we me ka tabe kwa salo kwa kowe kwa lo place we aka November yi God ga yi sie ba ka zuo duo. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That's Madam Day Tawon Pavey. She's the executive directress at the National Commission on Disabilities. I want to say thank you for sharing the platform, and I want to say thanks to all of you for your calls. Thanks for watching. We'll be here tomorrow with the midweek presentation. Dapana, Esther, Wendell, and Gus. And so I want to say a big thank you to all of you. And don't forget to go out there November 14 and vote number 2. All right, that's the gender sensitive ticket. Vote number 2 for a better Liberia. All right, folks, we got to go.